The influx of events from spaceflight continues. Today you won't be deprived of another 3 current topics. Let's begin in the Kazakh steppe, where the return capsule of the Soyuz MS-23 spacecraft landed. 3 men have returned to Earth after over a year in space. In the second topic, we'll explore what happened with the return capsule of the OSIRIS-REx probe since the last episode. In the final topic, we'll discuss the ongoing preparations for the SLS rocket for the Artemis 2 mission. On September 26th, a change of command took place on the ISS. The former commander of the 69th long-term expedition, Russian cosmonaut Sergei Prokopyev, symbolically handed over the station's key to Danish astronaut Andreas Mogensen. The next day, on September 27th, Sergei Prokopyev, Dmitry Petlin, and Francisco Rubio boarded the Soyuz MS-23 spacecraft. When the spacecraft disconnected from the Prichal station module at 7:55 Universal Time, the 70th long-term expedition on the ISS officially began, led by Andreas Mogensen. Originally, Prokopyev, Petlin, and Rubio were supposed to return to Earth in March of this year, but their Soyuz MS-22 spacecraft encountered a problem in December. There was a leak from its cooling system. The spacecraft was then not certified as completely safe, so plans had to be changed. The damaged Soyuz departed from the station with cargo only, and in turn, the Soyuz MS-23 spacecraft arrived at the ISS without a crew. This extended the trio's stay on the ISS to twice its original duration. Two Russians and 1 American returned to Earth after more than a year, 370 days to be exact. No one has stayed continuously on the International Space Station for such a long duration. The entire trio now ranks 3rd in the historical records, with only 2 men ahead of them, Valery Polyakov and Sergei Avdeyev, who stayed on the Mir station. Additionally, Francisco Rubio returned to Earth as an American record holder. No American has spent a longer uninterrupted time in orbit. The Soyuz spacecraft executed a braking maneuver in orbit, guiding it into Earth's atmosphere. After passing through the atmosphere, the return capsule opened its parachute, descending to the Kazakh steppe. The Soyuz MS-23 return capsule touched down on September 27th at 11:17 Universal Time. Rescue teams arrived at the capsule shortly after landing to assist the crew. We addressed the landing of the OSIRIS-REx return capsule in Utah in our previous video. Today, we pick up where we left off, at the helicopter that transported the sealed return capsule from the landing site. The helicopter didn't fly far, landing on the outskirts of the landing area where inside one of hangars NASA set up a temporary clean room. Here, one of the main tasks of the first day after landing took place. The capsule was connected to a nitrogen supply, ensuring continuous nitrogen purge. Nitrogen was chosen due to its inert nature. Nitrogen hardly reacts with anything, and thus wouldn't affect the chemical composition inside. Maintaining a constant flow of nitrogen was essential to prevent contamination of the capsule's contents by Earth materials. On Monday, September 25th, another critical step was taken. The return capsule was placed into a transport container and loaded onto a C-17 Globemaster III aircraft belonging to the United States Air Force. This aircraft was responsible for transporting the valuable cargo from Utah to Texas. The transport aircraft landed at Houston's airport, where the container was transferred to a vehicle. Its journey led to NASA's Johnson Space Center, where a clean room had been set up specifically for the OSIRIS-REx mission. The capsule was placed inside a so-called glove box, providing bi-directional protection, preventing the samples from contaminating the environment and vice versa. On September 26th, the capsule could be carefully opened. Do you see those dark residues on the walls? They are most likely dust particles from the Bennu asteroid. The sample collector hasn't been removed from the capsule yet. Experts are working meticulously and carefully. In the coming weeks, there will be a basic quick analysis of the material and its weighing. NASA is planning a press conference for October 11th, where preliminary results will be announced. A few days ago, we showed how the first RS-25 rocket engine was installed into the core stage of the SLS rocket for the Artemis II mission. That was on September 11th. In the following days, things progressed rapidly at the Michoud assembly facility near New Orleans. The second engine was placed in position on September 15th. The third piece followed on September 19th, and the last fourth engine was installed the next day, on September 20th. Now, technicians have plenty of work ahead. They need to ensure the proper connection of all engines to the rest of the stage. We're still in the preparations for the Artemis II mission, but moving to Florida. A special train arrived at NASA's Kennedy Space Center from Utah. It carried 10 segments of solid rocket boosters designated for the Artemis II mission. The actual assembly of the rocket is still some time away. The mobile launch platform is not even in the Vehicle Assembly Building or VAB yet. It will remain on Launch Complex 39B for several more weeks undergoing tests. The segments of the solid rocket boosters will be temporarily stored in the Rotation Processing and Surge Facility, or RPSF. They'll wait here until everything is ready for the start of assembling the SLS rocket for the Artemis II mission. In this photograph, you can see the transfer of two aft skirts of the solid rocket boosters heading towards the RPSF hull. Thank you for watching today's episode of Spaceflight News. The next one will be released on Saturday, September 30th. If you don't want to miss it, you can simply subscribe. By the way, have you tried our profile on the X social network, formerly known as Twitter? If not, just click on the link in the video description.